What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Jay-Z Bottom Lip. Today, I wanted to do something kind of special, something I totally forgot about, something that a lot of people don't even talk about, that I even forgot that we don't talk about. But today, we're going to talk about high-level tech pros don't talk about. So I'm going to go over, a few things that they do, and then I'm going to show you some videos of a few things, and then I'm gonna do two things. Well, I'm gonna do three things actually. So I'm gonna show you guys a few things that pros do that we don't talk about. Second, I'm gonna show you some videos from the pro comp, and I'm going to basically show you some of the things that I've been telling you guys, like all my videos are about. I'm going to display what it looks like when two pros are playing each other in a tournament and how they utilize it. And then third, I'm just gonna go over it and just show you guys some examples of the things that I'm talking about in this video. All right, so the first thing that I wanted to talk about is whiff buttons on purpose. It might sound crazy, but a lot of people do this on purpose. So it normally depends on like what you do. So if I was decided to do something like this, and then I would dash into buttons, or a lot of times what people would do is back up slightly. Another thing most people would do, down poke into grab, or another thing, and then shimmy, and then you start getting to other things. This is how they start playing, and then grab you. So it's a lot of like shimmying, it's a lot of thinking, especially when you're playing against Melina, because that's normally what she likes to do. It's really strong. And then it opens you up for shimmies. It opens you up because you think you can press a button and you might use the wrong button because she's backdashing and stuff. So you try to use an advancing string. So most times advancing strings are a little slower. So you get blown up by like her fast standing poke. Most of the time, whiff buttons into grab or whiff buttons to shimmy usually works when your opponent is hard. Like when you knock your opponent to the ground, like a hard knockdown, it's usually when it is best. So if I was to do something like this, I can backdash, and then, you know, if I wanted to, I can go right back in and press buttons. This also sets up two different options against my opponent. They might wake up armor, or they might themselves just try to press a button, like a down poke, because it's their fastest button. And since they see me standing in front of them, they might get hit by my follow-up move if I use the correct one, like a mid. See how far her mid goes? So that's something to keep in mind. Also to watch out for, if you see a lot of people just like whiff buttons and to grab. You also would do this in the neutral too. It's kind of like checking. They call it checking, but just like checking your opponent's movement and stuff like that. So like you're sitting here and you guys are just playing a game of just checking each other, just making sure that they don't come in. And then you can just steal a turn by coming in for a grab very, very fast. Stuff like that. See how fast that is? There's another thing too that I have not talked about is how to grab someone. And I think it's very important to learn how to grab, because if you pay attention, the grab is really quick. And when you get this good at grabbing, you will understand it. So like most times when people do grabs, they'll go like this and then grab, but you can also cancel your movement into a grab, if that makes sense. So like rather than fully dashing, you can commit it to a grab. So it would look something like this. And then I'll show you what a full grab looks like. Also, I want you guys to know that I actually killed like two birds, one stone. So the first one would be whiff buttons on purpose. A lot of times when you whiff buttons on purpose, your opponent will think that they can use a string or a move, and then you would bait them to basically get hit by your follow-up move. And I'll show you from my previous video or my previous broadcast where it happened to one of the people I was training, or, you know, giving them games to see where they were at. So I muted the audio because I usually play music on my stream so nobody can go back and clip them or upload them and put them on their YouTube channel. And just for the sake of other players that want to play with me, I don't want them to feel like people are always watching them or they clip them and they make videos out of them. So, you know, I kind of make it go both ways for each player. But I wanted to show you what whiffing to buttons look like, or whiffing and baiting your opponent into thinking that they can press a button looks like. Also, shout out to my boy Pirate. Pirate is a really good player. If anybody wants games with Pirate, Definitely play Pirate. He has one of the best gears I played against, and his combos, he don't never drop them, so don't get hit. I'll show you again. And there you have it. And then the second one that I show you was slight buttons into wake up. So basically, what I was showing you were like you would do like stand poke into grab, stuff like that. And then the next one that we're gonna talk about that I think is I think is really good. And then my favorite that I do a lot is I usually walk into people's faces. So it'll normally look like this. You'll just do this into someone's face, baiting them press a button. It's all about timing. So you know when your opponent wants to press a button, you know when he's going to give you respect to a slight minimum where he's like, why is he doing this? And then it becomes overwhelming or it becomes too much and your opponent wants to press. It's all about timing. Now, that's a timing that you have to learn. Everyone's a little different. You kind of get this from conditioning or knowing how your opponent plays and where you can get disrespected or respected at. So a lot of times you would do things in a way where life lead is at a difference. So like, let's say that you have 15% health. I love doing this one. So you have like 15% health and your opponent has 80%. If you dash in his face, he knows that you're trying to bait him to press something, and you know yourself that you're looking for him to press something into maybe using a mid or backdashing and whiff punishing him into fatal blow, making him break, lose his bars. Now you have 2 bars, 1 bar, or whatever the case may be, and then going from there. I can also show you a video of me doing that as well. So I'm gonna show you 2 different types of ones that you kind of like walk into your opponent's face. Is one is to bait them obviously into doing another string or armor, and then the second one is kind of just like you want their respect. So like you will dash in your opponent's face a couple times into a grab or get them to poke, and then you will punish them. But then there's like another one, or is one that's very similar. It's still 2, but it's like it's their turn, but they're unsure if they want to take their turn or not because you might wake up and they kind of bait it. So you kind of dash in, don't block, and it's very quick. You dash in, block, and then you grab them, or you can go into your move. So I wanted to show you guys really quick what it looks like. Right there. And you'll see it again after this string. Dash in, grab. I hope you guys saw that. I'll do it one more time so you can see it. Then it's your grab. See? And then this is kind of what it looks like when you walk into your opponent's face and you bait them to press a button and then you try to take your turn back. But I did it kind of wrong. I used the wrong string. Usually when you do this, you want to use a mid. Also, shout outs to that boy Scooter. This man is insane when it comes to neutral. When it comes to neutral spacing, he's really good. I think if he plays with the right people, he'll be even better. But I just wanted to show you guys what it looks like when you are playing against someone who's really good and you're trying to implement this, dash forward in your opponent's face to bait them to press a button. They don't. You take your turn back. But I use the high. But that's basically what it looks like. I think also what I'm going to start doing is when I do like viewer sets and stuff like that, I'm going to start like showing you guys like parts of what I think is insane. So I was playing Scooter and he did this. So I try to shimmy him. So after you get hit, right, I could have jailed him, but I wanted to shimmy him to think that I was going to grab him and I was going to like, take my turn back. But he just did some OP. Like this man is really good. Right there. Like what? Nah. We got to see that again. Watch. He just neutral ducked. So again, the first one is to whiff buttons on purpose. You kind of like do it to bait and buffer into a move or such, and you kind of just waiting for your opponent to whiff. The second one is slightly, press a button into like thinking that your opponent is going to get their turn. So it was kind of like that whiff button, and you would do like a down one into a grab. You would do a down one into like shimmy and stuff like that. It's really strong. Usually you do this after a hard knockdown, or you would do it into a stagger. So like you would do stand one, and then you would do down one, and then dash in and press a button, or you can do down one, dash into a button. But it's always going to be off of a stagger, or it's always going to be off of the fact that you guys are playing neutral or at a certain distance, and again off of a hard knockdown. Then lastly, my favorite one, which would be like walking to your opponent's face. You know, kind of baiting them to press a button. You're looking for them to do something negative or so on and so forth. But this one is really hard to use, and it's very dangerous to use. You kind of use this when you have very high confidence in the matchup, and you're kind of like just playing around or just baiting your opponent to thinking that it's his turn, and you have him fully committed, or just like you already understand that how many times does it take for him to actually poke when you're in his face. Like a lot of times people will down poke a lot of times off of just you being in their face and nobody's pressing buttons. But a lot of times on high level, people will, you know, you'll get away with a lot more than what it would be on a lower rank. It's just like that in any other game like Tekken or, you know, Street Fighter. A lot of times we're looking for certain things in particular, so we're not rushing to kill our opponent. So, you know, you'll get away with dashing in your opponent's face more on a high level than on a lower level. But yeah, I appreciate you guys liking this video. If you can, I appreciate it if you could leave a like and a comment as well. And then on top of that, I wanted to give you guys a little bonus, and I was going to watch not necessarily watch it, but I was going to show you some clips that I, not necessarily clip, but I went back and just, you know, found some stuff that it would be really cool to show you guys in particular. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and let's get into it. So basically this video I'm showing you was based upon a video I was giving you guys about like plus frames and how to deal with kind of like with Johnny. Remember I was showing you guys a video where, well, in my video, he would do 1-1 in his plus, right? But if he abuses 1-1 and he tries to do it again, you can neutral duck, you can poke him, and so on and so forth. So at a high level, rather than just poking him when he does 1-1, you neutral duck and then you can punish him for it, because it's not necessarily that is his turn, it just does not jail. So here you go. And he ducked it. I'll show you guys one more time. In this video, or in this clip right here, I kind of wanted you guys to see this because this is what you call checkmate, in my opinion. Or yeah, I guess you could say it's checkmate. Think of it like Connect Fours, when you can kill your opponent in two different ways. So in this one, I just wanted to show you. So when he jumps at his opponent, he does something negative, but as you see, he's going to use a projectile because it stops his opponent from breaking. But if he would have just punished him, he would have just broke and lost all his resources, and then he would have slowly been chipped out because of the time. And on top of that, his opponent has 2 bars and he can fully zone him. Then another thing he could have done was, you know, just kill him for that one instant, and then he would have just died either way. Show you guys one more time. Me personally, I would have just went for a regular move to make him break, and if he didn't break, you know, I just would have killed him. But if he did break, I would have played off time, and then he wouldn't have no resources for the next round. I wanted to show you guys this clip in particular because this is kind of like what I was explaining to you guys about like high level things that pro players don't talk about. It's kind of like he's waiting for his opponent to press a button, but he didn't press a button, so he went back into his buttons. So I wanted to show you guys what it looks like. Then he goes right back into buttons. I'll show you guys one more time. It's very quick. Now, a lot of times too, what players do is they'll duck buttons, or they will duck but also block and wait for you to press a button. And it's a slight timing that they have, and then they go straight back into buttons. So I'll show you another time. He'll duck and then he'll go right back into buttons. Right there. I'll do it one more time. He neutral ducks right here. See how he's ducking? It's very quick. And then he goes right back into buttons because his opponent didn't press a button quick enough. Now I have another clip for you guys, and this one is basically what I was showing where you dash in your opponent's face, baiting and press a button, and then you can sometimes grab them or go into buttons. So this is what Mighty Unjust did to Ninja Killer. Dash, 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 grab. Show you guys one more time. Into grab. So this is a bonus of a bonus. This wasn't even supposed to be part of the clips, but I wanted to show you guys what how can I explain this one? This is where composure, and this is also where it comes with execution comes into play. So these are very, very important. Remember I was telling you about things that why you're struggling in Mortal Kombat. I wouldn't say Wise is obviously not struggling, but these are little things that happen to players of casual and people who are like not pro players. You guys get multiple of these, but I also wanted to show you why Sonic Fox's comeback factor is insane and his clutch factor is insane. It's because if your opponent or you allow yourself to not be able to close out a round, your opponent, if they're good enough, they will come back. So execution, composure are very, very important because he shouldn't have dropped this. One, because he's a Liu Kang main, and two, Liu Kang's very easy. It just threw off his timing, and he probably got a little anxious or whatever the case may be. I can't necessarily say, but I just know that he shouldn't have dropped it. And, a lot of times as pro players, you're going to get input errors. But the only reason I'm saying this is because he's allowing Sonic Fox to make a comeback factor, and you don't want Sonic Fox to make a comeback factor. So I wanted you guys to see what happens. So it obviously happened to both of them. Sonic Fox forgot to hit confirm or whatever the hell happened. He forgot to do the scream and then continue his combo, and he dropped it. Didn't hit confirm. He had him right there. Could have killed him. Missed up his timing or whatever the case may be. Do you see how good Sonic Fox comebacker can be if you allow him to, if you don't close out a round, this is insane. So the reason why he went for the overhead there is because he's guaranteed a hard knockdown, which would lead into a Kung Lao setup, into him being able to mix his opponent into fatal blow and killing and securing the round. That's why he went for overhead there, if anyone was curious. So we'll show you again. Again, it's your boy Jay-Z Bottom Lip. I appreciate you guys watching. I hope this video was entertaining, but I also hope that you guys probably learned from this video as well. If you guys have any feedback for me, negative or positive or anything like that, I appreciate it. Boy Jay-Z, I'm out.